What's up, guys? I got a little talk I've been wanting to have. And it involves RPM9. My problem with RPM9, and it's a problem that lies within the community. Anyhow, it's a problem that lies within the community, and a lot of it's got to do with the YouTubers themselves. And it's something that really annoyed me. This is going to be a rant video, so if you don't want to listen to it, just click off of it. And I really hope this video gets seen by a bunch of people, because it needs to. The problem is this. When you have, actually, I'm going to add another knife to this. When you have YouTubers that are basically pandering knives to people for link clicks, and that's exactly what it is. I'm sorry, but that's exactly what it is. When a YouTuber is telling you every 10 seconds, don't forget to use my links in the description, there's a problem, okay? And this knife right here, let me rephrase. This steel right here has a lot to do with this, and it really proves the point. Okay, this knife is 7CR. This knife is 9CR. This knife is 8CR, and this is RPM9. When RPM first come out, and up until Laren Thomas's video, you could watch any number of YouTube videos from, especially your larger YouTubers, say 10,000 and above, and they're reviewing almost multiple CJRB knives every week. And you're hearing, use links, use links, use links. And they're all talking about how great this steel is. Absolutely glazing it, basically. It's so great. It's, edge retention of good D2. Very stainless, very tough. It's a powder budget steel. It's a powder form steel. I can tell you something. Those YouTubers, they have no clue what they're talking about. Some of them do. Most of them don't. They're literally just going off of what the company said. They're not using the knives. They're opening the box, looking at the knife, flicking it, and cutting a piece of paper or two and telling you how great the knife is. Use my links to buy it. Use my links to buy it. That's basically the review. Now here's the part that really annoys me. They will tell you this steel right here, this is 7CR. That's not even a serviceable steel. 8CR is barely serviceable. They wouldn't know the difference between this steel and this steel in use anyways. But that's what they'll tell you, because that's what people say. They hear somebody say it, they repeat it, and then it all of a sudden becomes gospel after 15 different YouTubers say it, and now everybody's saying it. This 8CR right here will absolutely outcut this RPM9 right here. This 9CR will also outcut this RPM9. And this 7CR will give this 9CR a good run for its money in edge retention. Yet, this is not even serviceable, and these are barely serviceable. And the part that really, really annoys me is when you have all these YouTubers who are glazing the hell out of this steel. Oh, it's such a great steel. I get more edge retention from it than D2. That's bullshit. They're just telling you that. They didn't get more edge retention from it than even average D2 from China. That's not true. And they don't know that because they literally open the box, cut a couple pieces of paper with it, maybe open a box with it, and then it goes into storage, never to be seen again, because they're just collecting the free knives that are given to them. and your link clicks that are making them money. Now, I'm not hating on YouTubers. You do you. If China's in your pocket and you're cool with that, by all means, make your money. If you don't mind telling people whatever to get them to buy knives that make you money, and it doesn't matter about the quality of the knife, past as long as the action's good, that's morally on you. I'm not going to do that. If the steel don't perform, I'm going to tell you. I'm not saying RPM is not a decent performing steel. It is. For the money, it's okay. It ain't nothing special. Like I said, this 7CR right here will cut with this knife all day long. Like if you did an edge retention test between the two, the RPM9 may beat it slightly. It's not going to beat it by very much. This 9CR will absolutely outcut this in an edge retention test. It will absolutely outcut RPM9, and so will this SRM done Spyderco 8CR. I've tested it over many models. I know for a fact it will. I've tested probably 15 different knives in RPM9, and I've tested 5 or 6 of these Spydercos, and some of the birds, and every one of them will outcut it. You know, on like a cardboard or a sisal rope, and then, you know, going until the edge no longer cleanly slices paper. So that I know for a fact, and many others do too. But the problem is when they were sitting there telling you how great this steel is, and it's such a great powder steel for the money, blah 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 blah. Up until Larry Thomas's video, and then all those YouTubers, literally, the community's mad, so now they're, how mad they are and how crap RPM9 is, they're just going along with the flow. They're literally just riding that wave. And, you know, you stop seeing them review them for a month and a half, 2 months, and then guess what? After about 2 months or so, you stop hearing about, you know, everybody talking about Laren's video, and all of a sudden, guess what you start to see again? CJRB knives and RPM9 back on the YouTubers' channels, and them telling you how great of a steel it is again. That right there tells you that they're just shilling. They're literally just telling you whatever. They're going with what the community was mad, so you stop hearing from them. As soon as the community's not focused on that, they start bringing them back on their videos, and now it's, hey, use my links. Great knife, great steel, awesome deal. But instead of them saying powder form, now they're saying spray form. 9 out of 10 of them couldn't tell you the difference between spray form and powder form steel. Hell, most of them couldn't really tell you the difference between ingot form and powder form. Regardless, that's besides the point. Basically what I'm getting at is, you should stop looking at the YouTubers as gods, basically. Like, they know everything, and they say it's great, so you go buy it. That is no good, because they're doing it as a business. They're doing it as a way to get you to click links, and to click on videos that they're getting paid for, and that they're getting free knives for. And it doesn't matter if they're getting free knives that they're sticking in a box to collect, or if they're getting free knives to, you know, do the video, stick in a box, collect them for a little while, and turn around and sell them. Those knives are money. If I'm given this knife right here from Spyderco, I review it, I can turn right around and sell it, and that's $50 or $60. So Spyderco just handed me a $50 or $60 in cash. No different for these. When these YouTubers are getting every colorway, and each size of each model from these China companies, that's no different than the China company saying, here's cash. It doesn't matter that it's in a knife form. That knife makes them ad revenue, it makes them affiliate revenue, and then they can turn around and sell the knife, and it's no different than cash. It's just a different form. And you guys need to start understanding that. They're going to tell you what they got to say to sell these knives. There's some legit ones. There's some that aren't shills. But the vast majority are shills. The only YouTuber that stood on what he said about RPM, he always said RPM9 was good, and he stood on it. Even when, it come out and the whole community was pissed. Mike Emler, he said he still thinks it's a great steel, and I agree. If you're going to say it, you need to stick with it. Emler said that, and actually that gave me some respect for him, because he didn't just go right along with what the community said. And I don't want it to come off wrong. I think RPM9 for, like you can get this knife for $40. This is a perfectly acceptable $40 knife. The performance is fair. There's nothing wrong with it. It's a good value for $40. And the performance is not bad for $40. Now, if you went and see, this is what really annoys me, because another thing, CJRB put out that, their public apology saying it was a, lost in translation, it was a miscommunication. No, it wasn't. That's not true. RPM9, PM, powder or particle metallurgy. They fully understood what they were doing. That's why it was named as it was. They didn't think anybody would check. They knew that, it would take micrography to know for a fact. They didn't think anybody would do that. It's a powder steel. It's a budget powder steel. Laren did the video. He did the work that was required. I'm sorry, my son comes out being loud. He did the work that was required and proved that it wasn't a powder form steel. Now, if it was a powder form steel versus a spray form steel, would have you noticed any difference in performance? Realistically, no. Would have you got some more toughness? Yes, slightly. Would have it have showed up in edge retention? Not at all. Not unless the heat treat was different. They ran it a little harder, then yes, you would notice a difference. But realistically, if they would have kept running them at 59-60, the difference between spray form and powder form, it's not going to be much, if any. Now, in a custom heat treat scenario, they may be able to get a little more out of the powder steel, but not in a production environment. This heat treat's better. It's ran a little harder, and it'll outcut this steel. And that's, the compositions are similar enough that it's all in the heat treat. It's all in what hardness they run the steel. But artisan, CJRB, whoever you want to, call it, they knew exactly what they were doing. There was no miscommunication or lost in translation. The name, they called it a powder steel. They named it, and they put the PM in there to make you think that it was a powder steel. Now, you notice in their new steel, they've already been caught, so now it's got SF in it for spray form. I don't know. Just what I'm saying is, stop listening to the YouTubers and taking what they say is gold, because it is a business to them, and a business's job is to make money. Just like you go to a used car lot and that salesman comes out, he's not your friend. Those YouTubers aren't your friend. I don't care how nice they are to you and how friendly they are when you give super chats and blah, blah, blah. They're not your friends. It's a business. They're trying to make money, whether it be in free knives, affiliate links, whatever the case. It's money. Money's changing hands. And when money changes hands, you really have to look at what's being said. Now, somebody like CBRX, he's actually doing good work, and he's not shilling. He's showing you what it is on his dime. Alex as well. Alex isn't pandering every knife under the sun to you. You know, Outdoors 55. And there's a few others. But for the most part, if you're hearing them say links in description every 3 times a video, 4 times a video, well, that tells you right there that, well, they're trying to make money. And if they're trying to make money, you really need to open your eyes and listen and look at what they're showing you and listen to what they're telling you, and look at it no different than a used car salesman trying to sell you a car on the lot. Remember that. Like, I know it's easy to look at these guys like they know everything and they have so much experience with knives, blah, 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 blah. Okay. It's a knife. I mean, how much experience can you have with it? If you're not making them, this is all you can do with them. You can put it in your hand, you can look at it, you can flick it, you can cut some stuff with it. But you don't really know more than the next guy, other than you've handled more units than they have. But it's a knife. They all do the same thing. So stop looking at these guys as gods and look at them for what's actually happening. Them trying to sell you knives. And when you notice that it's always Chinese knives, that's another thing. That's because these are the only companies that'll give them knives, is these China companies. That's why you don't see them reviewing Spydercos every other day. That's why you don't see them reviewing Benchmades every other day, because they won't give them knives. These China companies are ready to hand them as many as they'll take, as many as they'll make videos of. Remember, CJRB sending every pyrite model they've got to a 100,000 follower channel. That only cost them like maybe $150 in actual product. $200 in product. They know that that exposure is going to make them far more than that investment. Keep that in mind. Like, I'm really tired of seeing people just basically get taken advantage of because they like these guys and they want to believe every word out of their mouth, but those guys aren't telling you the whole story. Number one, they're opening a box and reviewing it all in the same video. How can you review something you haven't used? Well, you can't. That's a problem, and people need to understand what's happening, because if not, you're just getting boxes full of $50, $60, $70 China-made knives that you're depending on them being good because the YouTubers told you they're good. When in reality, the YouTubers don't know if they're good or not. They just know, okay, it's got a good action, it locks up good, got good geometry. Oh, and it's got a sharp edge from the factory. It cut this piece of paper nice. That's all they actually know, because, well, as soon as that video's over, guess what? This one's moved out and this one's moved in. And they do it again. Then that one leaves the table and now this one comes to the table. They're not using them knives. They're not. Like, open your eyes, people. That's what I'm getting at. I know this video won't get seen, or maybe it'll get seen 50 times. But the whole damn community needs to see this video. Because we're being taken advantage of by salesmen who act like they know everything there is to know about knives. And they don't. Anyways, this has been a 20-minute rant. I'm sorry. I actually hope y'all listen to it, and I hope y'all understand that I'm not hating on the YouTubers. I don't care what they do or how they make their money. I'm not going to buy this because some YouTuber told me to, or said it's a good knife. I could care less what they say. I'm going to buy something because I like it and because I'm going to give it a chance. I'm going to try it out. I'm going to see what I think about it. And if I don't like it, then I'll sell it. Anyways, I hope y'all don't get too upset over this video or think that or take it past what I'm actually saying. Everything that's come out of my mouth, I want you to take as literal, not as being figurative or being passive aggressive. I really could care less. I'm glad there's people making a living on YouTube in the knife world. I'm glad to see it. So I really could care less about what they do personally, because I know what I want. I don't need a YouTuber to tell me. But there's a lot of people that really look up to those people. And in my opinion, those people are being taken advantage of because, number one, they want to support that YouTuber, so they want to buy through their links. They're being told everything that comes across their desk is good or great, or buy it now because it's going to sell out. And it's just not right. Anyways, you guys have a good night. I hope y'all understand where I'm coming from in this video. And I'll talk to y'all soon.